Okay, part two, because they only give me 10 minutes. I don't have enough followers. Once I have more followers, I think they'll give me like 20 minutes. So let me finish this. And by the way, if you see the dust on my keyboard, that's not dust, that's earth, that's diatomaceous earth to keep like bugs out of my apartment, like silverfish, spiders. I don't want any of that crap in my home. So that's what you're seeing. It's not dust. All right, so this is part two. So Cheyenne, as I mentioned in the part one of the video, she's claiming that black women are coming after her because she's light skinned and she's pretty, blah, blah, blah. No, they're not coming after you for that reason. And I'll tell you something. There might be some shallow-minded people that do think that are colorists and, may have some envy because she's light-skinned. But you have to look at the historical aspect. And I just believe in just telling the truth, even if it makes people feel uncomfortable, because I go by historical facts and I go by research. Because research has a plenary power to change public policy and law. And I can say that. I have a master's in school counseling. I have a master's in criminal justice legal studies, and I'm midway through, in like 2 weeks, I'll be midway through my third master's, which is law. It's a master's degree in legal studies. So it's a law degree for non-attorneys, but it's a law degree though. And it's very rigorous, just like my criminal justice, extremely rigorous. I mean, it's below a JD, but I tell you, it's to me not like a traditional master's, even though master's degrees are still hard as hell. But any of these law degrees, oof, they're on a different level. That's all I have to say. But anyway, so research, I go by research, right? And so one thing, I have like over 300 empirical, cross-sectional, quantitative, qualitative, deductive, inductive, spatial, temporal research that show that mixed race people, that goes for men and women, usually have an upper hand when it comes to employment over our black kinfolk. I'm just keeping it real. I have the research to back it up. And people know I come with receipts. I'm not a big talker. I always have receipts to prove my veracity that what I'm telling you is true. There are over 300 plus research studies. A lot of it comes from Harvard and Yale, and like these prestigious universities, that mixed race people, not just biracial, but people have two biracial parents or two multi-generational mixed race, which I believe that's the case with Cheyenne, just like Steph Curry. They have two parents that are multi-generational mix. That is a real thing. Anyway, that they're usually given privileges that are not extended to black people. Now, when I say privileges, I'm talking about access to housing, access to education, given more shine on platforms like Cheyenne has already exhibited, with all these guys are just like a bunch of like salivating puppies just like drooling over her because, she's pretty and light skinned, and giving her a platform to spread friggin' lies. But anyway, research shows that that's the case. And I strongly believe if black women are mad is because they realize that this is the crap that's happening. Like, for example, there's a doctor, I can't think of her name right now. She was on a show with Dr. Lamont. You know Dr. Lamont? And she was on his show and she was talking about how people that have these like huge followings like Cheyenne Bryant, like basically deceive people. Like she's creating this ruse where people think, oh, because she has all these followers that she has credibility, and that's simply not true. This is what happens in a lot of cases. This doctor was explaining how people that actually have the credentials, for the most part, don't get the shine like people like Cheyenne gets. And she's a fraud, like she's a fake, okay? She's a charlatan. And I understand exactly what that doctor is saying. So one of the reasons why, not that I'm trying to be the spokesperson for black women, but one of the reasons why a lot of black women are upset is because a lot of times they don't get the shine, attention, and visibility like mixed race women get. And they're going to have the credentials. They could be far superior over this charlatan, Cheyenne here, with master degrees, doctorate degrees, like degrees that they actually earned and have licenses, right, or licensure, and yet they're invisible. They don't get the shine, the warm encomium on these shows, like, with Shay Shay and all these who else? Nick Cannon, all these different, celebrity influencers. She doesn't get, though, black women don't have that warm welcome on those shows simply because a lot of these guys are colorists. They won't admit it, but I always tell people is we're not gonna play the game, act like you don't see it. Even though it's true, somebody can argue, well, you gotta have proof, which is true. You gotta have some kind of proof, corroborated proof, research, whatever. I totally get that because I'm a huge proponent of that. Cannot always go by people's word, but it's very consistent though. And there's a history, I say, like a historical element to it. So I strongly believe, again, I know you need proof, but I'm just going to go on a limb and say, I strongly believe that these individuals, these guys that are accommodating her, are like blinded by her attractiveness, her beauty. They're blinded by it to the point where they don't see beyond the superficiality and realize that this woman is a complete fraud. There's no way on earth that you can tell me that you have a master's and a PhD, whatever doctor she's claiming to have. It must be a PhD because I don't think it's an EDD, but whatever. She has a PhD, a doctorate degree, she claims, and you have no proof, even your master's degree. And I just want to say for the record is, remember, a master's is a graduate degree. It's below a doctorate, but it is hard as hell. That's why I always have to school people, for those that are sometimes ignorant and gormless, I have to tell them, as a former duly state licensed guidance counselor, K through 12, in North Carolina and New York, a master's degree is not year 5 of your bachelor's or your baccalaureate. A lot of times people think that because they're just ignorant and don't read. They're not the same. It's a graduate degree. It's on a completely different level. It's considered to be a professional degree. It's an advanced degree. It's not year 5 of your bachelor's or your baccalaureate. No, that is far from the truth. And I always tell people, I'm qualified to say that because I'm working on my 3rd master's. And I was a licensed school counselor. So if it's anyone that's qualified to speak on this topic, that's conversant on this topic, would be me. But I'm telling you, they're not the same thing. So by Cheyenne masquerading that she has all these degrees because she claims she has several, I want to see proof. I don't give a damn if the university closed. You will still have proof that you graduated from these institutions. Let me give you an example. I hope I'm not revealing too much here, but let me show you something real quick. All right. See my screen here? This is all from GCU. These are all of my classes, 10 classes, graduate level, and it was a total of, it was over 500 essays in this master's degree program. I graduated in this past January, 2026, with a criminal justice legal degree. It was hard as hell. 10 classes, but if you go through each folder, look, I have all of my classes. Look at this, all of them. All of my classes and all of my assignments, over 500. I mean, shit was insane, okay? So that's for my GCU master's, my 2nd master's. This is my 3rd one I'm working on. Just want to show you. Now, so far, I'll be done with 2 classes. I have 6 more to complete, and then I'm done. But look, this is from the 2 classes I'm taking. This is the first one, legal study or legal methods and process. And the second one is right here, ethics and the profession. Okay? All law classes. But I'm still not done because I have 2 more weeks. But my point is, there's always proof that you went to school and you completed these degrees. But what bothers me about Cheyenne, which is very typical, is that she's getting all of this attention is simply because she's pretty and she's light skinned. I mean, really? Like, black women can't be pretty and educated and, it's such bullshit. Black women are not jealous of you, boo-boo, because of your light skin and this and that. They're mad at you because you're getting all the shine and you have no credentials. And the ones that do have the credentials, the black women that do have the credentials, they just get overlooked. So even though I'm not a feminist, but I can now understand why a lot of black women are angry. This right here tells it all. It is complete bullshit. Cheyenne, you're a fraud.